Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters in red today. They've all turned out for what we have every expectation will be a sensational event here at the Imola Grand Prix. And like most Formula One tracks, Imola is driven anti-clockwise and offers our drivers today just over 3 miles of glistening wet tarmac to negotiate. It's made up of a roughly equal split of 9 right-hand turns and 10 left-hand. Watch the drivers on the way into turn 16. Managing their speed there will be crucial, with the rain only adding to the difficulty of that downhill braking section, which then, of course, leads them into the track's longest straight, though no DRS there today, of course. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Golden Boy lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell, Perez, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Albon, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Joe, Magnussen, Bottas and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. So they've got lots of team members to get to know, to win over, and to get working for them. How do you go about doing that?
You know, it's new for yourself when you arrive maybe into a new team, or you might be an established driver or a rookie. It doesn't matter. Getting to know a whole group of people, a team that works around you, it's vital to get the best out of each other. And in that return, your performance on track improves as well.
Okay, as you know, this is the team's home race, which means it's extra important for everybody in this team. They've got friends here, they've got family here, they're all in the grandstands watching, so let's go and put on a good show for them. Concentrate on keeping tyres and brakes up to temperature. Getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. Okay, good parking there, mate. Now we need to make sure we get a great launch as the race starts. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. Drive-through penalty. You've got a drive-through penalty. understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Okay, this is your final chance to serve the penalty. Enter the pits this lap or will be disqualified from the race. Okay, one stop to go, just one stop left in this strategy. Gap to your teammate ahead, 2.7 seconds. I definitely think we need to stay on this tyre a bit longer, but there's no question the track's dry. We might be in a position to change soon. car in front, 7.9 seconds. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. job, nice overtake. We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain. Okay, mate, let's try and climb up the order. I'm setting you a new target. Push, push. Perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet. Right, the gap to the teammate ahead of us, 13.8 seconds. Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds a lap. Really good stuff. Oh mate, great stuff. You hit that target. That sets us up nicely for the rest of this race. Okay, gap ahead, 1.5 seconds. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Looks like it's probably about time we change tyres. It's a bit of a crossover period for sure, but the longer we stay, the worse it's going to get. So your ERS is running a bit low. Look into changing your ERS mode in the MFD for a more conservative burn rate, or you might want to try some lifting or gentle braking to recharge. Intermediates on now. Come on, let's go, and switch over if you need to. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Okay, let's go now, come on. Your late turn-in meant we had a slower than planned pit stop, I'm afraid. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. Place here, they've pitted as well, so we've got to warm up our tyres and get the most out of it. Come on. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. Our true position. They've pitted as well, so warm up your tyres and get down the road. Left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes. Tyre condition still looking good. Okay, gap to the car in front, 1.8 seconds. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, I think we're still the right tyres for the time being. us a new fastest lap of the race. You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep it up. Gap to the car ahead is around 2 seconds. Okay, looks like some of those puddles are clearing. We're still definitely on the right tyre for the time being, but we're probably not a million miles away from slick conditions. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 3.1 seconds. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Okay, we can take you this lap. Charles is in for his stop now. Right, let's go, come on! That stop wasn't great, we've lost some time there. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Other teams are fitting intermediate tyres, it might be worth considering changing yours too. Hamilton is stopping now. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by, 2.9 seconds. Okay, mate, right, we've got some clear track in front of us, so let's make best use of it and make the next lap a quick one. You got this. Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. There's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep your head down. Nice overtake. Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres. Verstappen's just put up the fastest lap of the race so far. You're pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff. 13.8 seconds. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 6.3 seconds. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 12.4 seconds. gap to the car in front, 9.4 seconds. Teammate behind, 15.2 seconds. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Okay, gap ahead, 5.7 seconds. Car behind starting to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it. Okay, mate, lap times are a little erratic at the moment. We need consistency, so let's try and stabilise them. starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop. Overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. On Tsunoda for you. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car. Green flag. Tyre condition still looking good. The gap on the car behind by 5/10 a lap. Nice move, keep going. Job on hitting that target, mate. Nice work. Still a long way to go, though. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 26.7 seconds. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Yellow flag. Okay, clear.
performance that our Medium and Medium Grand Prix winners can be justifiably proud of. And I'm sure there'll be celebrations tonight.
And that's 2 wins in a row now. Start to potentially something special, but they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. A long way to go.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
We have a great 3-second lead. After we down to the back. Here is where we are dominating. Rivazza, look at this. Tires are gone, guys. But it doesn't stop us. That's it. Come on. Oh yeah. We've got it. We've got it. Of course. First, baby. 7 out of 7. 7 out of 7. Driver of the day. Yay. Warrior Luciano, yay. Of course. Same fashion. Let's celebrate. Oh my God, we got drive-through for jump start. We couldn't believe we jumped the start. Can you believe it? I couldn't see the lights. I came back from last position to win. Yay. Wow. What a great win. Come on. Let's jump into it. Yes. What a great win. Oh yes. Let's go. Let's go. Don't I look great in these overalls? Of course, Jans Felix are champion. At home. Yes. Come on. Forza Ferrari. Forza Italy. Oh yeah. 3, 2, 1. Yay. Come on. And Autodromo Internazionale Enzo and Dino Ferrari. Of course we made it. But what a thriller. Wow. Go Autodromo Internazionale Enzo and Dino Ferrari. We are official winners. We are winners. Come on. Come on, Jan. What a champion. Champion drive. Yes. Wow. Of course. Oh my God, Yomi. We absolutely loved it! What's this, man? Come on, yeah! So yeah, we came back, obviously, from the back, right? So It was really, really difficult, really, really challenging, you know. Really challenging, obviously, you know, to win. Yeah, now the game got stuck, my God, I don't know. I hope we made it to the finishing line, but yeah. Okay, come on. Let's see what happens, but yeah, I will give you the race reaction, but this is not great, obviously. So yeah, we did a fantastic job, you know, but at the beginning we jumped the start, right? So once we jumped the start, that was a big problem, obviously, because, you know, as you know, we got in the drive-through penalty. So with the drive-through penalty, yeah, that was, that made everything much more difficult for many different reasons, right? Because we had to take the drive-through penalty within 3 laps. So, you know, when that happened, that was a, yeah, wow, this is very challenging. So hopefully that was the first time it ever happened. So yeah, we will see what exactly happens here with the game, but yeah, I hope, you know, it was saved, you know, before. So hopefully there won't be any problem and the victory will stand, because yeah, this was a magnificent victory in Italy. Absolutely amazing, you know, that we managed to win, because, you know, we fell to the back. You know, we drove right from the back, right? So, you know, we really made it stick, and I'm so happy, so pleased, you know, that I made it, and Autodromo Internazionale Enzo and Dino Ferrari! Oh, yay! You know, we obviously, you know, when, you know, wet tires, right? You know, then we, you know, fell back 10 seconds behind, and we were able, you know, to catch everybody. We were able to, you know, obviously get through, you know, the field nicely. We stopped for intermediate tires, you know, just like everybody did, and then, you know, we were able, you know, to catch up with the front of the guys, and yeah, in the end we made it, guys. So this victory, very amazing, very spectacular. Let's go, Jan! And yeah, let's hope it will stand, because yeah, this was just absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm so pleased over here. And yeah, we basically then, you know, just before the half distance, we switched to, you know, the medium tires, and then from then on, yeah, it was just, you know, race to the finish, and we were able to overtake everybody, catch Norris and Verstappen, who were fighting, overtake them in style. It just took basically 1 lap, and then we controlled the race, you know, gone about 3 seconds. So let's go. We are the Small champion, Forza Ferrari. Next challenge is Monaco. Can we equal the record of the great Alberto Ascari? 9 wins in a row. Of course, a great Ferrari driver, Vettel, 9 wins in a row. Challenge for 10 wins in a row of that Verstappen. What do you think? Let's go, Jan! Forza Ferrari! Forza Italy! What a champion! Hello everybody, and welcome here to the home of Jan, the smiling sun champion and Ferrari's biggest fan. As we are going to do probably the saddest, you know, race reaction over here in the whole of 2024 FI Formula 1 Season 2, of course, round 7, the Imola Grand Prix over here. It is really a race reaction to a magnificent race, you know, which, you know, got forgotten, right? Because it wasn't safe. So, you know, I'm absolutely flabbergasted by that, you know, don't understand how that could happen. Really regret that, you know, on that final lap, when we always prepare, you know, when you can see me, you know, racing that final lap, and we always prepare it, right? We, you know, basically set it up right up there, or if, for example, my biggest fan is here, you know, can record it as well. That was a great chance, you know, to save the whole progress, because this was definitely, you know, a super amazing race, you know, at Autodromo Internazionale, Enzo and Dino Ferrari, and I believe, you know, it deserves to be seen, even though obviously it will not count for the World Championship. But, you know, thankfully we managed to win the Imola twice, which you probably already know. So, you know, now with the reflection, we can take a look at it and tell you everything about this, you know, amazing race. So, yeah, but what to tell you, you know, this is really how it should have been. So, changeable conditions here at our Ferrari's home track, you know, from the heavy rain, then going to the, you know, light drizzle, and then completely drying out as the sun came out, and then, you know, the clouds threatened to come back again. Yeah, and I have to say, I really enjoyed it, and this was a signature race, by far, you know, the best race that I've done, even though obviously that a proper Imola Grand Prix race, which will count for the championship, for which we will get the victory points, obviously with the fastest lap as well, you know, was almost just as good, but this one was a little bit better. So why is that, right? You might be wondering. So obviously because the game stopped, you know, right after the podium celebrations. We will not take it. We don't know, you know, the exact differences in terms of, you know, how far ahead we finished. I mean, we can see we were about 3 seconds ahead of Verstappen and about 5.6 seconds ahead of Norris, but we, you know, obviously couldn't then see, you know, the drivers, the constructor standings, and also the race highlights. So you won't see that. them, but don't worry, obviously will be seen as part of the real Imola Grand Prix. So for this race reaction, I decided to put in, a bit more fuel. And yeah, obviously, start on the extreme wet, because that was the only choice. And for the first time in my career, so we've gotten off, right? And immediately, I noticed, one big problem that we had, which was I couldn't see the starting lights, right? So I was wondering, where are they? And, obviously I could then for the second start, because I had to redo, obviously, the whole race, I didn't know exactly, where they were. They were very much to the left, over there, which is a big surprise, because normally the racing lights are right, above the racetrack, as I'm taking the checkered flag and celebrating here, because I started on pole position, a great pole position. You've already known that, but I got because I jumped the start, so I've gotten a drive-through penalty, which is quite severe. I jumped at the start because basically I tried to time it, I couldn't really see the lights. Obviously, the halo normally nowadays, as a driver, you really do not notice it, but yeah, it, I found it very difficult. I couldn't, locate the lights, and as a result, so I just tried, right, because you can still hear the beeps, right, beep, 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 and then once the beep goes out, the red lights go off, and yeah, I basically jumped the start, but it meant that I was easily leading into the Senna Assist, the old Tamborello corner, the first turn. Yeah, but then within 3 laps, I had to give out the position, and I have to say, I could hardly keep up on the extreme wet. So, I wasn't, feeling that good about the drive-through, because I knew it would drop me to the back of the field, and I was like, how are we gonna, make it back to the front of the field? It would be such a pity if our great run came to the end, with such a rather silly mistake, that I didn't even, find out where the starting lines are for obviously the top drivers, the pole position sitting drivers. Didn't feel good obviously after the drive-through. I came out last, but then I realized I had a pretty good solid pace, and I was able to overtake, especially into Rivazza. That became my favorite overtaking spot, because basically, the cars didn't have a good traction coming out of the chicane. I was always able, through the Aqua Minerale to stay very close. Then there's not much of a dirty air effect as you go through the chicane, and then heading obviously down the Rivazza, I was always able to deploy the battery, pull a little bit to the left, and basically, cut off the driver. And it also then later on, when the DRS was enabled, gave me the DRS as well, because the detection zone obviously is on the run down the hill. So after the drive-through, I was then able, to pick up the Sargent, the Zaubers, and everybody step by step, and that felt pretty good. The engineers again in this brilliant F124 career, they gave me some really good objectives, like, come on, get to the 15th position, in 7 laps, which I easily did. So I've gotten some, pace, additional points there, which obviously in the end I didn't get, because the game didn't save it. It was going, pretty well. We then stopped, pretty much with everybody. So it was relatively easy to see once you've seen the guys pitting, 1 or 2 of them. You basically pitted the next lap, right? So I went then from extreme wets to the intermediates. It dropped us back to 18, but then, once the car stopped, we were at 12th, 11th, and, I really started to sense the victory when, I caught Charles Leclerc, and, I basically overtook everybody. So it was kind of like, hello, I'm the championship leader. I'm gonna be the 4-time champion, right? No driver really posed, any huge challenge to me. So at the Autodromo Internazionale, Enzo and Dino Ferrari, I was absolutely dominating. This was a fantastic, really great enjoy race. Fantastic race. And once I was able to get the Leclerc again, heading down to the Rivazza, I knew this was gonna be good, but then again I didn't know just how far obviously the other cars were, right? So especially the leading duo of Verstappen and Norris, because normally every 3, 4, 5 seconds, right, after you overtook the car, either you had another challenge. So it was quite busy, quite entertaining, I have to say. And it was around, I believe, between after lap 20 that I was also able, to get a Leclerc, obviously, and, I knew that I was, the Ferrari's only hope to win the home GP, right? And then once the DRS was enabled, we switched, and we made, I think, the crucial stop, not go on the hard tires, but we went for the mediums. But the stop was relatively early with over 30 laps to go. But, I feel like, we have a great tire management, and, we can definitely do it. The tire, as you do know, every set of tires is 0.5 seconds faster than the other one. But obviously, if you wear it too much, then you lose, all the tire advantage, and you can be sliding around, you could get a puncture, right? But I felt it was just marginal, but yeah, it worked to perfection, right? So, we were, then able, to pick up the cars, and yeah, once I was then running third, I saw that there is a roughly 10-11 second gap, to the leaders, and slowly, step by step, I've gotten them, and by about lap 41, I attacked Norris, so I knew, yeah, this is good, 2/3 of the race, and I'm almost there, I sensed the victory, I was so motivated, but I overshoot the Rivazza, unlike, on my previous overtakes, and then it took a couple of laps, because, they were fast, right, they are the leaders of the race, so, then it took a couple of laps, but then I was able, to overtake Norris very well, then pretty much, pull up next to Verstappen, and with Verstappen it was a tough overtake, because through the Rivazzas, we were going side by side, but then once I opened up the DRS, all of the Tifosis were shouting here at the Autodromo Internazionale, Enzo and Dino Ferrari, because I just disappeared from Verstappen. It was so nice to just look back, see him disappearing, and then I quickly established, the lead of a couple of seconds. In the end, yeah, I still won by only 3 seconds, but yeah, I was basically controlling the race, being very nice on the tires, because obviously I did use them a lot for about 15 laps, and they still had to last, additional roughly 15-17 laps, and I timed it to perfection, and I won my first ever Imola Grand Prix, but it didn't save. Can you believe that? So over here we don't have what we have for the race reaction, but I believe this race deserves to be seen, and one of my favorite victories nevertheless. Yeah, and I hope you guys surely enjoy it. Let me know how you love it. And now we will celebrate. Obviously the podium is still there, and yeah, then leave it to you. Obviously it was a heartbreak. You could have seen, right, in live how shocked I was. I didn't know what to do, right, at that point, because I was like saving the game froze, and that is basically, I hope, the only time it will happen in 2024 season. There were more bugs in F1 23, I have to say, but this is the first and hopefully the only one. Just could it not happen in Imola when I just won such an amazing race. So everybody, are you ready to celebrate? Yes, we are the winners! We are the Formula 1 Grand Prix winner here in Imola! Wow! What a great result! Yes, we got it! Driver of the day! Wow! So you guys, what a great victory! What a great victory! It is coming! Forza Ferrari! Let me put it on! Who is the winner? Let me put in that great medal over here! That's it! Forza Ferrari! Let's celebrate with the team! Oh yeah! We were so happy! We are so happy! And over here, you guys, same matching fashion. This was an amazing result. And you guys, we are ready for the trophy. 3, 2, 1, and yeah! Go yard! Wow! We got it! Forza Ferrari! Let's celebrate! What a great victory with the SF1000 T1 Scuderia Ferrari Formula 1 car here at Imola. Oh yeah, it's all shiny golden. Forza Ferrari! Yay! We've gotten it! What a great win! And yes, this is pretty much it. Where the celebrations were cut short, but guys, what a great race over here, and we cannot really see much more of that, but I think what we can do over here is to keep it, yes, with that winner's trophy. Yes, that is it. Okay, so over here, I hope you guys enjoyed this race reaction. Fantastic race, totally deserved, and yeah, I'm so happy that I obviously still won the Imola on the second time of asking. And we will now just go down a little bit, to the west to the Monaco Grand Prix, as we're chasing some records for the most consecutive wins for the best start to the season. So everybody, keep on supporting Jan, the smallest champion, Ferrari's biggest fan, and of course Ferrari's fastest driver, and the winner at Autodromo Internazionale, Enzo and Dino Ferrari, our home track, the Ferrari Grand Prix. Jan looks like he's the winner. Forza Ferrari. Yay! Oh, go, 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 Jan, Small League Sun champion. Go, go, go.